the time.
Because I noticed for Canada it seems shorter, but I don't know if that's actually like true. Like if it actually comes quicker. Because for Canada it always says I'm in Toronto, so for Canada it always says 15 to 25, and then when I switch to US it always says 25. So I don't know in your experience if it just shows up like earlier, like you said, or does it come after 25 days? And do people care?
It definitely sometimes comes earlier. I don't know, not entirely sure about Canada, US, honestly. Do people care? Yes. Were you the one that asked the question of whether you should show it on the product description?
No.
All right, so I actually got another question about that. Personally, I think you can show it on the product description. It's not going to kill you absolutely, but at the same time, it's going to reduce the number of emails you get, but it's not going to eliminate it because you can put it in bold as your headline. People are still not going to read it, and you're still going to get emails. So
dude, even if your shipping times are 3 days, you're
yeah.
So basically, if it's not Amazon, you're gonna get emails.
I'm sure they get emails too, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, so people are joining.
We actually got some attendance.
Drew, we're talking about FIFA before. That's about the only video game I've played in my life.
Oh, really?
I used to play Ultimate Team for hours while I was on like if I was trying to lose weight, I'd get on the bike and just go set it at like a comfortable pace and play Ultimate Team for a couple hours.
Oh, no way, because actually when I got hired at EA, Ultimate Team was like really small, so I got hired to be able to be the one to figure out how to market Ultimate Team back in FIFA 12. So that was like my main job, was like this little mode called Ultimate Team was making like 100 million at the time, and then like when I left, it was making like 600. Now it makes like about 800 million to $1 billion. But no, that's cool. I guess my marketing works. I'm glad that you like Ultimate Team.
Oh yeah, I don't play it anymore. I don't go on their bike anymore either. But those were good times.
You're not missing out. It costs too much money to play, honestly.
What do they charge for Ultimate Team now?
Well, I mean, to get the packs and all that stuff, you know, like. Yeah, those like kids in Europe spend all their pocket money on that.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Daryl, we got Eric, we got Devin, we got Chew Boy, obviously. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, can you guys hear me? Checking my mic.
Yeah, we can hear you clear.
Happy Mother's Day, y'all.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day. Thank you all for making the time. I know it's not the best timing, but you know,
Big Mama Nate in the house.
You know, my thinking is if we want to take care of our moms the right way, we gotta make money for them first.
That's it.
Right. It's true.
Eric, where are you at, brother? It looks like you're in either a tropical place or you're just dressed like it.
I'm in Austin, Texas, bro. Just walking to brunch.
Ooh, awesome.
Trying to maximize the time here, you know.
Hell yeah.
I'd prefer to be on the beach, but Austin for now.
All right, we'll give another like 4 or 5 minutes, see if anyone else gets in here before we get down to the meat of things. We got a couple things we want to talk about, and then we'll kind of go through, take some questions from you all, and get rolling.
You guys ready for a quick question while we're waiting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, so when I'm importing stuff from Orbello into the Shopify, when you're going in to edit the products, it lists all the different countries that I guess the products are available from, and that's showing up on my my store page. Like it allows them to select what country.
Right.
Obviously, I want to default to U.S. shipping. So should I just unselect all those products from those other countries?
Yeah.
I don't want the country to show on my page.
When you're importing it in Oberlo, you can kind of like just uncheck the ones like it'll usually be either like United States, China, or Russia. So whenever United States is an option, you want to uncheck everything except for the United States variants. And then same thing, you know, if it's China and Russia, just do China. Don't fuck with Russia.
Yeah, definitely don't do Russia. Be careful. Make sure that you're actually going to ship from the US, some products, they just don't make sense to ship from the US because the shipping from the US costs like $12 for a $1 product. So you're going to have to look at where you're actually going to ship from. And if you're going to ship from the US, remove China. If not, remove the US and Russia or whatever. Always remove Russia. There's no advantage to having Russia on there.
Yeah.
Roger. Hey, good. Thanks.
Would there be a scenario like you get an order from somebody in Australia and you'd want it to ship from China instead of the US?
I wouldn't worry about that. You really just want to have one mate, because the thing is, you don't want it to say on your store ships from, like, you don't want that to be an option on your store because that makes it look kind of sketchy.
Right, but when we actually go to place the order, couldn't we order from China in that case, even if we had?
I suppose you could.
I don't know if there's a good workaround for this, but I did that on a store I've had previously, and it's kind of a pain because you have to like manually go into Oberlo and switch it to China.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think in most cases,
Gotcha.
if US is an option, you absolutely want to do the US. Granted, what Scotty just said, granted that the shipping cost isn't ridiculously high. But yeah, and then if you imported it without changing that stuff, you can also still go back in Shopify on the product pages and take those options off those variants. And if you guys want me, I can go through and I can screen share and show you guys how to do that.
Nate, when are you gonna buy some actual cups?
Dude, I have cups. I bought them off Amazon, and I thought that they were like so cool. But every time I use them, and after I wash them, they look dirty as shit even after I wash them. So I'm like they're clean and they just look dirty. So I'm like, screw it. I'm just gonna buy solo cups.
All right, let's kick this thing off.
All right. So yeah, Scotty, you go ahead. You start off. You're a little bit more professional than me, I feel like.
All right, so we kind of wanted to get some feedback from you guys, obviously just sort of to expand on what you've been dropping in the Slack chat already, and hear where you're at currently, what you need help with, and basically if there's anything you need from us, any questions, or just anything you'd want us to elaborate on, now's the time. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Until the next call in 2 weeks.
2 weeks time.
So talk to us, guys. Where y'all at? Like, how have y'all been getting on so far? What do y'all think of everything? I mean, obviously, we like to hear the good stuff. That we're a little bit more interested in hearing about, what you guys think we can improve on. That stuff, obviously, the consideration of this entire program.
Well, actually, sorry, one thing before we kick it off. We're recording this, so if any of you don't want like private information about your store, whatever, out, let us know, and we'll have to sort of edit that out or something, just so that you know that you're no surprises if you see it on YouTube later.
Daryl, I think your mic's muted, my man.
Okay. Yeah. So right now I've got the store built. I've got the products added to the store. I'm doing my copy and trying to get my theme squared away to where the store looks good. And that's where I'm at right now. Kind of moving slowly, really trying to build the skills as we go along rather than just trying to bang out a store that looks like crap.
Gotcha.
Because the idea is, this is, to be able to move these skills onto other products as I expand once I launch.
Absolutely.
Is there anything there, Daryl, that you're struggling with, or is it that's holding you up, or are you moving along nicely?
Right now, just moving the products around on the page. I haven't figured out how to do that yet, but I figure the Shopify help will probably help me with that.
Shopify help chat's really good. I mean, anything you need on that front is going to be fairly easy if you just hang in there long enough, depending on the time you try to get them. There's a bit of a wait, but if you get them, they're great.
Oh, super. Yeah, it's just all basic stuff. I'm learning as I go. So this is the first store that I've set up. So it's been well worth it so far for all the stuff that we got out of the course.
Nope. Eric, where are you at, my man?
So the store's built, still going through writing the product copy, but plan is to go live at midnight this evening. So really enjoyed the how to build a Shopify store. I had spent probably like dozens of hours trying to build other stores that just fucking sucked, quite frankly. So it was nice just to have the basics. Here's what matters. Here's what doesn't. Download this app, do this. I mean, I even took an old store I had been playing around with and just spent 20 minutes making the tweaks you guys suggested, and it looked 100 times better.
So
haven't actually run any traffic to it yet. I've been trading Bitcoin pretty heavily the last couple of days, which has been great. But
I've heard it's pumping
hard. But excited to get the ads rolling this evening.
Hell yeah! Is Eric going to be the first one to make a sale?
Ooh.
We're going to be talking about Facebook ads in a bit here, so I'm sure you'll pick up some more little tidbits from this call.
Definitely.
I had a question.
I'm really tired of pissing away money on Facebook ads. You read about it for like 5 months. It's like, oh, how hard can this be? I've read everything, I've learned everything, and then you finally launch them, and it's like, God damn it, I suck at this. But I get it.
You ran many ads before?
I blew like $400 on ads for a electronic like wireless charger thing, trying to copy magnet mount basically.
Yeah, dude. Actually, I ordered a product from them because I was interested. I thought it sounded like a cool product, and I thought it was actually going to charge my phone. And what I got was literally just a fucking like
it's a $2 product they sell for $50. It's insane.
Yeah. And
I have a wireless charging mount that I use every day, and I'm like, well, I paid $6 for this on AliExpress. People will definitely pay for this, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, my targeting's off, or honestly, my store was shit. I was getting tons of view content, tons to even initiate checkouts, but no one was actually buying. So. Yeah,
and I think off of magnet mount, another thing like for ads, it depends on the product. It's not going to work for everything, but I don't know if you saw like their ads and stuff. Their ads were super basic of just a video in the car, just like showing it.
Yeah, so, no, I was running video ads of that, like me doing a testimonial, my girlfriend doing a testimonial. I'm like, we were getting like 2-3% click-through rate, but just no one was buying. So
yeah,
it doesn't exactly like solve any real problems or agitate any pain points or anything. So it's really just like, this is cool, buy it. So
yeah,
I don't know that I'm going to keep running that anymore. But it just sucks to have that much data and not do anything with it.
Are you still running that?
No, I haven't done anything since I started this.
Okay.
I might go back to it.
Were you doing purchase? Were you optimizing for purchases?
Yeah.
Okay. 2-3% click-through rate's pretty good.
Yeah.
Solid. Is that link click-through rate though, or are you doing?
It was unique click-throughs.
Unique link click-throughs?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Yeah. No, that's definitely solid.
So I don't know. We'll go back to it.
Definitely work on the site or the angle or something there.
Yeah.
Ads seems to be doing the trick. I think Chu had a question there a minute ago. No?
Yeah, I did actually. I was wondering if what happens if we come across like if the product has a lot of issues. Like I was already looking at some of the reviews of one of the example products given, and a lot of people complain that it gets dented while it gets shipped. And also I noticed the supplier had, I don't know if it's low, a 90% rating, and I don't know if that's too low, or do I look for another supplier, another product for that one? That was the main one that I had to look for.
Yeah. So when we're, going through and doing the builds, we're obviously like doing our due diligence and trying to make sure that the suppliers are, as great as, you can kind of get them without actually without being able to actually go there and vet them and see what they're doing and everything like that. And I'll say that that's like that's just one of the downsides of dropshipping. Obviously there's a lot of upsides to it. No inventory, it's very scalable, and all that kind of stuff. But that's one of those things with suppliers that can be like one of the trickier parts. And ultimately, like, I think it kind of just comes down to like, you have to kind of just like sell the product and then see what happens. Mm-hmm. And then, once you are consistent with it and you have like consistent orders coming in, then you can kind of reach out to the supplier directly, and form kind of a more direct relationship with them. And then, get more like, special treatment, I suppose. But yeah, I would say that that's kind of just one of those things where it's really hard to tell. Obviously there's signs, the reviews, you know, the how long they've, you know, been selling and stuff like that. Like you can kind of get a gist of it, but it's just that there's not really, it's kind of like, you know, one of those things where you want to find out what, you know, they're actually like, you just got to do it. You got to test it.
And like, let's say, you know, we take what we've learned and then we move on to like a different product. Is there like a certain rating you're looking at for a supplier and a certain, like, I guess, rating on the product as well you should be looking at?
Yeah, I would say I don't think that there's any, like, I don't have any hard and fast numbers that I look for. It's just kind of like the whole thing. And a lot of the times, like, you know, the products that are, you know, work really well a lot of the time are products that haven't been huge, that don't have thousands of orders, that haven't, you know, been like blown up yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't say that there's like any hard and fast rules for that. It's kind of just something that you want to look out for, and be proactive in, you know, making sure that the supplier is fulfilling on their end. And just, you know, getting up with customers and stuff, sending them emails, making sure that they, you know, got their products, especially when you're first starting out. And, you know, you're selling from new suppliers that you don't have a relationship with or anything like that. But I wouldn't say that I have any like hard and fast things. You just kind of want to look at the reviews, and then how long they've been in business. And, yeah, the rating a little bit too, but I don't even know what that's determined by or who determines that. So I wouldn't even really, I wouldn't put a whole lot of weight into that personally. Scotty, what do you think?
I would like to put back a question to all you guys in here. You sort of asked for our process, and I was suddenly thinking perhaps we should have our builders make a video going over how they do it and what they look for. It's obviously missing from the original program because it's not something you necessarily need because we're giving it to you. But is that something that would interest you too, Eric or Devin?
I think absolutely. I mean, two of the products in my build weren't available, so I had to kind of go through and look for other suppliers and try to find them. So any criteria y'all use in selecting suppliers or stores, or just even, you know, obvious red flags to look for would be super helpful.
All right,
Yeah, definitely.
I'll get the team on that. By the way, if you have a product that's not available when you get the build, send us an email at the support, and we'll get back to you with one that is available. So obviously that's something you've paid for. That's something you should get from us. If you can find like a similar, like the same product or a very similar one yourself, that's great. That's what we're going to do as well. But if you have that issue, just send us an email and we'll get you sorted.
Cool.
Actually, I remember, Scott, in your course, you mentioned about not going for products that have like super high orders. I think it was 10K less, like below 10K.
Mm-hmm.
Would you still say is a good amount?
10K is what I sort of used to say. Nowadays, here's the thing: when the products that we put in your build, it's mostly not me and Nate building it. It's our team of dropshippers, and they each have kind of their own way of doing dropshipping, not exactly what I'm doing. And me and Nate, we go through, we vet them, we discuss, like, is this something that we think could work? Is this something we'd be excited to try? And that's kind of how we decide to approve or deny a build. That's sort of how the review process works, what we're doing before you ever see it. And probably the builder that did yours, he has a different approach to me. And what he does, I know because I know who built it, he takes products with high orders, low orders, whatever, and as long as he can put a unique spin on it, put a different angle, a different marketing angle, or sell it to a different market, a different sub-niche. So like say there's a 10K orders product, but most of it is sold to like general audience of anyone. And if you've got a specific angle and a specific sub-niche that you're going after, then that sub-niche is going to be fresh. They haven't seen the product hundreds of times, you know? So that's kind of why he goes after high order products as well, not just lower order ones, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and generally speaking, I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock in the number of orders, and really stuff on AliExpress in general. It can be useful, like kind of to like put all together, but just that one thing alone, this product has X amount of orders. Like, to me, that doesn't tell you a whole lot of valuable information, because a product, you know, it could work with 10,000 orders, and a product can work if it has 5 orders, right? And it just kind of comes down to if it has a lot of orders, then what, Scotty was really on point there. You kind of need to change the angle, the audience, the offer. Then those are kind of like the 3 main things. I think that's in the program as well. Like kind of like the 4 kind of like main aspects of it, like your product / offer, audience, ads, and angle. So when a product has a lot of orders and it's been, like blown up before, then a lot of times, it's a good product, people buy it. But then to kind of like compete and be able to stand out and actually, like trying to think, like, I guess like win the Facebook auction, that's kind of one of those things that you do where you tweak one of those big things. And then that's like kind of the main thing. This is like some of the like most simple and I think like best advice that I could give is you just kind of have to change, when things aren't working, right? Because right off the bat, it's very unlikely that you're just going to start running ads and you're just going to fucking like start raining money. It's not usually how that works, unfortunately. And so that's kind of why you have to, get everything built, test it. And then if it's not working after, like 3 days or so, then tweak one big thing, run more ads, wait another 3 days, see what happens, look at the results, and then just kind of like keep, tweaking one big thing at a time until it starts working, right? And that's kind of, why we say that you're not necessarily trying to find what is working, you're trying to eliminate what's not. And then through the process of elimination, you'll find something that works.
Hey, Nate, how much do you recommend we spend on those test ad runs?
So Daryl, have you gone through semester 2 at all?
I'm in semester 2 now, but I haven't got up to that point.
Okay, so we go over all that, like very, very specifically the exact Facebook ad campaign setup, budget, exactly how to set up your ads, like literally all that. So that's all in the program.
Raj, okay, perfect.
I guess there's not really any reason, because that's all in the program.
Nate, question for you. It seems like, part of the reason you were able to crush it so hard is because you were selling. Do you think you would have done as well if it was just, basically some of my products are only like 30, 40, 50% tops kind of products. So I'm a little worried that if I start running a bunch of ads, it's just going to be, if you're seeing $10, $15 CPM, then
right. So give me an example, like the product price, and then what you're selling it for, like what like a product that you're concerned about, margins wise.
Like there's a $40 suggested price that costs $22, right? So I'm just running the math. Like if I have to spend $15 CPM to get 1,000 people to look at it, and only,
right,
maybe 2 are going to buy it, right? It's tricky to really scale that.
Yeah, so I would say, that is a little bit on the low side, margins wise. We definitely do try to do, like at least 3 times is usually like what I like to do.
Right.
The exception with that is for more expensive products like that, where you can sell them for, $40 plus. I would say that for that, like it's really going to be key to have, like the quantity breaks, discounted pricing to incentivize people to buy more than one. That's, because obviously that's huge. If someone buys 2, then suddenly you just went from $22, whatever, you're still, it's obviously, per unit, it's the same, but you still only paid that same amount of whatever the CPP, say $15 to acquire that customer. So then your margins increase pretty significantly from there. And I would say that, like, generally speaking, it's almost always, in my experience, a good idea to test raising the price, because once you have something working, like a lot of the time, and that's something that I did, and just raised literally all the prices, and the conversion rate fucking plummeted, but it was still more profitable. So that's kind of something you have to test as well. Actually, Eric, I think I want to talk to you specifically about that, because that does concern me a little bit. Those margins are a little bit, that's a little thinner than I'd like that to be.
Yeah.
But do also keep in mind what Nate just said about raising the price. He didn't start off with those margins. He was profitable when he had worse margins, then decided to raise the price and improve them.
Yeah.
It helps to have more room to play with Facebook ads. That definitely helps. I mean, the guys that blow up quickly, they often have insane margins. Right. And sometimes questionably high product prices for what they're selling. Put it that way.
Yeah. Here, give me 1 sec here. I gotta upgrade Zoom so this call doesn't end.
Well, while you do that, maybe Scotty can answer. My other question is like, let's say, we're running 60% off store wide as kind of the offer initially. How does that feed into like the lifetime value of a customer when they come back to the store and they see that everything is still, 60% off or buy one, get one, or like, is there ever a point where your prices just stabilize and you aren't running discounts? Or is it just kind of like this perennial, things are always on sale?
It's pretty much a perennial sale, but I wouldn't do a site-wide discount, by the way. I would do one product discounted and the rest at regular price. Because if you have everything discounted, then nothing's really discounted, If you have one product that you're advertising, because when you're running ads, you're going to be focusing on just one product at a time. You only want to have that one discounted, not the other ones. And people think this is a huge problem. But actually, if you go, I don't know what kind of discount stores or what kind of places you have in the US. If I go to a tech shop here in Switzerland, every product is discounted. Every product has the crossed out price. And that's just the way it is. I mean, in terms of returning customers, you're going to find that with dropshipping stores, your returning customer rate is low anyway.
Right.
I wouldn't worry too much about the pricing issue and the discounting issue there. Once you have your own product and you're fulfilling that yourself, you've got a custom-made product, that's when you can start thinking about, okay, this is regular price and I'm not doing a discount because I've got a great product and a great brand and I don't need to discount. If you're a dropshipper, I would have a perennial discount pretty much.
Yeah, like Eric, I'll tell you this, like basically for what I'm doing, I had, the same offer, same discount running all the time for months straight. And my returning customer rate was, it was very low, like 3-5%, right? People for dropshipping stores, they're not meant to be something where, people are going to come back and buy from you over and over again. That's kind of why you get started with this, figure out what works and use this to kind of, build into building actually like a real brand, which is kind of, what I'm doing now, where before it was like, okay, 60 to 70% off sale, on the main product we're selling 100% of the time. Now I'm transitioning to the actual brand side of things where you're actually, it's not as important to just, get that initial sale. It's more important to, build that customer lifetime value. So now, I'm not going to be running these discounts like that because it's more of a brand. So it is a little bit like, I guess that's a little bit incongruent with, long-term.
Right. That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah. So it's definitely like a transition. And I think that's something that we're going to add to the program as well. Once I'm a little bit further along in this process of going from, dropshipping store to brand, and kind of, because I've kind of been documenting what we've been doing and everything like that. So yeah, it's interesting. And there's definitely like some things like it's not ideal. Like obviously you want people to be coming back and buying over and over again. But when you're first starting off dropshipping, it's not really how that works. And it's just kind of I think of it as like this is like a terrible analogy, like purgatory. It's like dropshipping is like e-com purgatory, and you're just kind of like in that section where you're getting
in limbo forever.
Yeah, God's waiting at the gates, and he's like, all right, motherfucker, are you ready? And then you're like, dude, I got to get profitable first. That was a terrible analogy, but yeah, I think you got to get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. It's just there was a lot of talk about like how we need to be building brands and thinking long term with this shit, but then it's also like the next thing is like, all right, 60% off all the time. It's just like, I get what you're saying, but like, basically this first run at it is not going to be your long term store, basically.
Yeah, and I don't think you should ever start a brand without testing it first as a dropshipper.
Yeah,
like, I just don't think that's smart.
I can't believe people do that. I can't believe like no shade to Chris Johnson, he's the man, but like. I would never do that. I would never buy inventory up front without knowing that what I'm buying is actually going to sell, especially if I didn't know what I was doing. That's I know what I'm doing kind of.
Yeah.
And even I wouldn't do that at this point. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, he's a G. Well, hey, gents, I got to run to brunch, but I will definitely look for the recording. Thanks for all the help. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the feedback. Great questions. Yeah, let us know if you have anything else, and we'll talk to you next call.
Godspeed.
All right, have a nice one.
Cheers, brother. All right. So
Before we go any further, I need to give Chu some shit for that Manchester United.
Dude, please,
Brit
I'm so
in
depressed.
background.
I thought I would come here to escape this. Like, I've been like crying. So yeah, if you guys, I mean, I'm sure everybody kind of knows. I'm their video game host, so like, I've been a supporter for like my whole life. But since I work with them now, I can't say anything bad about them on Twitter at all. So like, people are just giving me shit all day, and like, I can't say anything. I just have to like go radio silence. So I thought this was a safe place. I thought
Definitely not. There's no safe space in here.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Yeah, but no, Nate, that would actually be helpful, like for moving on further, like with brand stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's where I was hoping to go after, getting knowledge from this course, is then having a product to supplement the brand and like the following that I have already, and come up with product ideas there. So I think in the future, like after, don't want to start running before I walk, but it would be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's extremely important. That's kind of like our goal, is to get you guys to the point where this isn't just something that you're kind of like just churning and burning, making money, constantly having to find new products and you do this, do that. The goal long-term is really to build that brand. This is just like kind of this is the stepping stone where you kind of get all that stuff hammered out and, without having to actually put up that risk and put up all that money and not knowing what you're doing. It's kind of like how we see that. And I mean, it depends on what you want to do. Some people don't want to, build a brand and they just kind of want to, just drop ship and do that. And, that's fine. To me though, that seems like the best possible route is to, once you have something working, is actually, talking to a real supplier, getting them products white label, get custom packaging, all those different things. It's really not like that much different. It kind of changes the way that you do things overall once you get, I suppose. So that's definitely the goal long term. It's just, this is like the first step, I suppose.
Wasn't a lot of like the value in this, like in the data on Facebook? Like, I mean, even though you might not have like some crazy long-term, customer value right now, like you can just target all those people with a better product now.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm in the process of starting a skincare brand, and I've got very poor options in the moment in terms of suppliers, like to dropship. Like there's only one brand I'm kind of happy with, so I'm running it with them, like barely breaking even, if at all. But I'm just trying to test what works so that when we have the actual product, we can hit the ground running. And like the Facebook data, knowing which interest to target day one, having a lookalike ready, that's going to be huge.
Yeah. All right. So there's a couple of things that I think we kind of wanted to talk about. Most of it's pretty much all in the program. Talk about like the Facebook ad campaign setup. That's all in there. Just I wanted to make a note and make it really clear. And we say this a lot in the program, but it's like really, really, really important. Like follow that like exactly. Like it's people try to mix and match it and do different things. Like they learned this from some guy on YouTube, that learned this from a blog, whatever. And then it fucks up because you're putting, two different strategies together that on their own work, right? Both of these different strategies work, but then you try to combine them and that's not going to work. So there's a lot of different ways to do Facebook ads. Everyone has their own method. What is in the program is, that's what we do. That's our method. That's exactly how we do things. And that's what works for us. So really, really important, like do that exactly as it says in there. And just like be really intentional about it and just make sure that you're not, saw some guy say this, you're going to be tempted to want to, combine that with what with what we have in there, stay away from that. Stay away from the temptation. And then I think, Scotty, what else do we have? We have
the info and ads tab. That's a little update.
Yeah. So do you guys know what the info and ads tab is? So actually, I'm just gonna share my screen. Actually, I think that's probably the easiest way to do it.
Are you gonna find it yourself, or do I need to help you find it?
I found it, bitch.
So what's happened is Facebook has removed the info and ads tab, which is a fairly new feature, and it allows you to go on any Facebook page and just easily look at their ads. And I think a couple days ago or this weekend, they removed the Facebook and ads section, and people have been kind of annoyed or disappointed or fed up or whatever. But thing is, it's actually just moved. Like, they've just taken it from the left-hand side, moved it to the right-hand side under a different name. It's all exactly the same. You just need to know where to find it. Nate did not actually know this, but I was able to inform him of the fact, so he doesn't look stupid in the live call.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can get this to go away. Okay. So yeah, so if you just go to any Facebook page, the info and ads tab used to be over here, and what that would do is it would show you all the ads that they're currently running, which can be extremely valuable to see for your competition and to see what's working for other people. So it used to be down here, but now it is moved to different locations. So if you scroll down on the right where it says page transparency, you click see more, and then go to view in ad library. And then that will bring up all their ads. So I think this is honestly ridiculous that Facebook even allows this.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, Nate, can you confirm this? I think the started running on, I think that's new. I don't think they used to have that.
No, that was at the start of the year, I want to say.
Okay.
Did they already show when it starts running though?
Oh wow.
Oh, I hadn't seen that until just now.
I think it's new, which allows you to scroll right down and you can tell, there's no point copying an ad that they started running today because it's probably not a winner. It's probably just something they're testing. If you see them running an ad for 4 months, then probably that's the one to look at.
Holy hell, they are running so many ads.
So with a brand like Movement, is it just that they kill it with ads nonstop? Is that why because I always notice them, and I think it's what Vincero watches. Is it just that they just know how to do ads?
They're real big established brands. They've been around for years, and they're huge. I mean, they're not just little e-commerce stores. They're real big businesses. I think
they can turn off their ads and still make money these days. But it was
absolutely.
I don't know much about those brands, but what you can do is you build it up with Facebook ads, and without you doing anything, you're going to start getting traffic trickling in from Google, people searching for your brand after they've bought or after they've seen it, from referrals, a friend's got a cool watch, he asks, what's that? And then he looks it up on Google. You're going to start getting traffic from all these sources. And I mean, you call it Movement. I always thought it was MV, whatever.
Yeah, it's both. It's their tagline is join the movement.
Okay. So, yes. I mean, they're a huge IG page, so they'll have traffic from organic, and they've gone past just being a little direct response store to just being this massive brand that people know. And if you can do that, even just in your little niche, then that's going to be huge, because at that point, your ad costs, they're only one aspect of it. Because once you're running ads, but also getting sales without spending ads, your margins just improve drastically.
Yeah. And that'll just happen as when you have something working and you start scaling, you'll start to get followers on Instagram, for example. If Instagram is a big placement, in your ads, then you'll start getting Instagram followers just because you're running ads. People will start following your brand's page just because of that. I think my store had 20 or 30K, and we hadn't done anything. I mean, we posted pictures, but we didn't do any shout outs, anything. It was literally just traffic from Facebook ads. They got people following us, and then now that's kind of a little bit of an asset, I suppose, that gets people to to the store without us spending money on ads. So definitely a long-term play with.
And I mean, it's not even just being better than other people at ads. It's so much easier to run profitable ads when you have an Instagram page with 1 million people. That's social proof. People, even if you're doing cold targeting, not retargeting at all, if you've never visited their store before, you've probably still heard of them. You've probably still seen them on Instagram. So that makes you more likely to buy. So once you've become such an established brand, even cold traffic is a little warmer than if you're just a random little store.
Yeah.
So that comes into it as well. It's not that they're 1 million times better at running ads than others, They're probably not. They've got this combination of brand plus ads, which is deadly. Plus, I mean, their custom content and stuff's just off the charts good.
Yeah. Yeah. And be careful, like trying to model yourself and after like big brands like this, because there's absolutely things you can take away, their content, how they set up their site and, the copy and stuff like that. But at the same time, like you're not, we're not them. Like you're not going to be able to operate at the level they operate at. And, we don't have the resources that, some of these huge companies have. So just keep that in mind. That like, yes, that's what you want to like, that's the goal long-term, but you also can't do, the same exact things that they're doing. Like I'm pretty sure Movement, like most of their ads, I'm guessing are just retargeting. Like I think that they probably don't even run that much cold traffic because they already have so many people come to their website, and that's, what is more higher ROI for them. For you, it's not gonna be like that, right? Because you have to get the traffic there in the first place. So I think that's important to keep in mind that like, yes, there are things that you can learn from them and like model things after, but just like be aware that, it's not the exact same thing. Not yet.
Nate, you wanted to talk about turning your IG feed into a gold mine. What did you have in your mind there?
Yeah. So this is like kind of, on the market and product research. I think actually I want to make a note. I think we should add this in the program as well. Let me make a note of that 1 sec. So basically, what you can do is, so like why you would do this is to basically constantly have a pulse on your market and on your competitors to see what they're doing, and be able to kind of, pick things that they're doing and model them and copy them, and, do it better basically. So what you can do, you can either do it on your personal Instagram account. And this works on both Instagram and Facebook, but I use Instagram personally more often. I've found it's a little bit more effective there. But basically what you can do is you can either you probably should make a new one, unless you want these on your personal Instagram account. But if you make a new Instagram account and then basically pull up like dropshipping stores. And so the way that you do that, actually, I'm gonna make a whole video on this. But okay, so I put the link in the chat. There's this website called myip.ms. Have any of y'all heard of that before?
No.
What it allows you to do basically is you go to that website and then you Google Shopify IP address, and then you copy that and then paste it into myip.ms, and then that will bring up the entire list of every single store hosted on Shopify. And then you can kind of go through and you can search by keyword in the URL, based on your niche, and use that to find stores that are in your niche, right? That are, competitors that you can, look at, model, copy, all that kind of stuff. So you do that after you make the new Instagram account, and then you go to some of their pages, you go to some of their websites, start clicking on them, clicking around, add some stuff to cart, whatever, and make sure that you're logged into these, Instagram accounts or Facebook, whatever. And then you'll start getting retargeted by, these companies, right? Because they're running ads, they're drop shipping, doing e-com, whatever. You'll start getting retargeted. So then your Instagram and, Facebook feed are going to start getting populated with ads from your competitors. And then once that starts happening, you go through and you click on their ads, go through, like you can go through like the checkout process. You can add products to cart, initiate checkout, but don't make a purchase. And then Facebook will start to understand that, okay, he's interested in these types of products. So they're going to start showing you more ads from, of those types of products. And then, at that point, you just open up Instagram and then it's just like a gold mine, because you just have, new product ideas, different angles, ad copies, ad ideas, all these different things that your competitors are doing that you can model after. And it'll just show up, right on Facebook and Instagram. And it's like a really great way to kind of just like when you're just like bored, I guess, instead of, watching Netflix, whatever, you can go and do that. And then, constantly having kind of like a pulse on your market and everything like that.
Another little one, just to go off that would be great for just studying your market and what your competitors are doing, like Nate said. But what you can and should also do is perhaps log into like your girlfriend, wife, family members, Instagram, Facebook, if they buy stuff from ads. If you have someone that that buys from ads, definitely look at the ads they're shown, because those are purchase, like if somebody optimizes for purchases, then that's what they're going to see. So Facebook knows this is a buyer. Plus then you see like different niches, you see different industries, not just what you're interested in. Because probably for you guys, a lot of the ads, if you just go on your own Facebook or Instagram, are going to be online marketing related, not so helpful. And if you start clicking a bunch of ads, you're just going to get stuff in your niche. But if you look at ads from somebody else's social media, you'll start to see like a broader range of different niches, different products, and especially if those people are buyers. If you know somebody who buys from ads a lot, definitely take a look at their social media and the ads they're showing.
Absolutely. Okay, and then I think the only other thing that I had was like actually paying for Facebook ads. So we go over this in the program, but I just wanted to reiterate, make sure that when you're setting up payment that you don't use PayPal as your payment method for Facebook ads, because there can be a whole lot of issues if your PayPal account gets locked. I've heard like horror stories of people who couldn't access their stuff. Like I think his Facebook account and his PayPal got locked at the same time, and he couldn't go and turn off his ads because his Facebook account was locked. His ads were still running, and he couldn't cancel the payment method because it was locked out of his PayPal account. So his ads were, kept running and spending, and they weren't performing well, and he couldn't even do anything about it. So don't use PayPal. Ideally, you want to use a credit card. You want to use a credit card that gets, really solid points. I use the American Express Business Gold Card, and that gets 4 times points on like on your biggest category that you spend, which is, going to be advertising. So that's not something like you don't need to like do that like right this second or anything, but just like kind of thinking more long term, there's a lot of benefits to that. Obviously once you start spending a decent amount of money, you get like free flights. I haven't paid for a flight in like 6 months now. So it's a beautiful thing. But if, worst case scenario, I would say, a debit card is fine. I would not, some people recommend linking it directly to your bank, but I don't think that's better than PayPal. But I think the ideal situation is a credit card. Second best I would say is like a, debit card. And then, the actual bank, connecting it directly to your bank, and then PayPal, absolutely last. And then I guess like kind of riffing off that as well, try to like be really intentional with how you're doing, I guess like your accounting and stuff. Not like actually like you don't have to like go and do the accounting, but be intentional with what accounts you're using, where money's coming in, where money's going out. You want as little accounts as possible, because when it comes time to, once you're, profitable consistently, and, you incorporate, like an LLC, and you have to, do everything the right way. It's going to save you so much time if you have everything kind of like more cleanly laid out, instead of having like, for example, what I did was I had like 3 different accounts that I was running. I would have like one for like product expenses, one that was like savings, and then another that was like an emergency fund or something. Like it was just ridiculous. I had all these different accounts, and it was a huge bitch to reconcile it, when it came time to pay taxes. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, it's not really like super, super important right off the bat, because obviously, the IRS isn't going to come after you if you're making, $100 a day and, in the first like 6 months. Just make sure that that's, you're doing that intentionally, I would say.
It's also worth having backup Facebook accounts and giving them access to your business manager to run ads. Because what can happen is that you get locked out of, like, you basically won't have a backup of everything. You want to have a backup Facebook personal account in case you get locked out of the personal account and you can't access it. Have a backup business manager and then give that access in case you get locked out of your business manager. And well, backup ad account is kind of less important, because you can just create that when and if you have problems. But what you don't want to have is ads running that you can't turn off, because that's happened to me, and it took like 10 days. Facebook support's horrible. You definitely want to have backups in place there so that you could turn stuff off even if you get locked out of your normal account or business manager.
Yeah, that's really solid advice. You can make 2 business manager accounts per Facebook account, I believe. So that's probably a solid idea as well, to have a backup just in case.
Well, the questions that we talked about before was true about e-packet shipping. It used to be like 20, I think it was 12 to 20, right? That's what they used to say, Nate.
I think it was
it just says
12 to 20.
Yeah, now it just says 25 days across the board. and I'm not actually sure if it's taking longer, or probably it is. Don't know why, don't know whatever. It might be a customs thing, might be delivery times are slower, but it is saying 25 days for e-packet shipping across the board. So don't be freaked out by that. That's unfortunately the new standard for now.
Yeah. And it's not, that's something that people are really, really concerned about. It's not as big of a deal as you probably think. I thought it was a huge deal. Like, oh no, people are, this isn't going to work. They have to wait so long to get their package. It affects it, but it's not nearly as big as you might think. You put the right product in front of the right person. It's not like they're, making like a pros and cons list and trying to decide whether to buy it, right? You're putting a product in their face that's interesting, that is relevant to them, and it's an impulse purchase. So it's not nearly as big of a deal as a lot of people probably think. I would say that it's probably a good idea to have it on your product page. It's optional. I've done it, and in some cases I have, in some cases I haven't. I haven't seen a huge difference, but you do want to make sure that at some point your customers know how long it's going to take for the product to get to them. So that's kind of why, like, we set up, you can do that on the product page, and then you can also do that in the shipping settings when you set those up as well. But you want to make sure that people are, that they understand that, there's going to be a little bit of a wait. And actually, I think I'm going to make a note. I think I want to add another thing about that as well to the B.O.S.S business, because there's like basically, ways to kind of like make the skeleton dance. And turn these long shipping times into, not a negative thing, and maybe even a positive. So I'm going to make a note of that.
I think we've just about gone through sort of our outline, what we wanted to add today. So we've still got time. Any questions you have, we're going to answer them all. We've got as long as it takes. Yeah.
I had a question on scaling.
Already?
Well, I just wanted to clarify as we're getting into it. Let's say we have a successful, we're started ad set at $10, and after 3 days we're profitable. So we dupe it, right? From there, after we increase the budget on the duped ad set, do we just keep increasing the budget on that ad set, or do we keep duplicating it to a new one?
No. So you duplicate it once.
Okay.
You keep the original one running. When you duplicate it, usually duplicate it, at, say if it's $10, then you dupe it at $12. And then from there, you keep both of them running, and then very slowly start to scale the duped one by, about 15 to 20%. I'd say when it's that low, even you can even be a little bit more conservative and say between 10 and 15% increase every 3 to 5 days or so. You just want to make sure that you're giving you're giving Facebook enough time to optimize, and you're not resetting the learning phase and fucking the algorithm up.
All right, I just wanted to clarify.
Oh, Jason's here as well.
In the car.
What's up, baby?
How you doing?
Great, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm actually on my way to Mother's Day right now.
Nice.
Yeah, we promise that future calls will be at a better time. Obviously not the ideal time today, but a few of us could make it, and hopefully it's been helpful for you guys.
Are you guys wrapping up?
We're taking questions, actually, so anything you have.
Yeah, so my ads are gonna go up tonight. I got a guy on Fiverr that does custom. He actually photoshopped. So you guys put me in the kitchen niche. He photoshopped my the digital measuring cup onto some unsplash photos to make it look real good. So I'm actually gonna put my stuff going live at midnight tonight, basically. I just wanted to clean up because the AliExpress stuff is just shit. It doesn't look great at all.
Yeah, that's really solid. That's something that we go over in the second semester as well, as kind of ways to do that, and to turn those boring white background pictures into actual real professional looking product photos.
Yeah. I was just gonna listen in. I don't really have any questions right now. As things go on and I look at the data, I'll probably have some questions.
Sure. I've got a little question for you, actually.
Yeah.
This guy you found on Fiverr, is he specifically for Facebook ads or just a designer?
No, the guy. So I've got two guys because I run another. I basically have another brand that I'm running that's doing well. But the guy I run, he actually is really good at taking like stock photos and putting them on like nice shit, like making them look really good. But he charges me $2 a photo,
Oh
and
yeah.
he makes them look like really fucking nice. And I've been using them for a while. I mean, the other brand I'm running is like an eyewear brand, and he photoshops my glasses onto people, and it looks like they're wearing them. So
Yeah,
I don't have to like go buy the, like I do buy them, but I don't have to go do that to actually get it going.
that's a very valuable skill for Facebook ads
Yeah.
because, I mean, for example, with my Facebook agency, we've got two people, both more or less part-time, but all they do is they take the product and they make different creatives. Like every day, 3 to 4 to 5 creatives for each client, and you just churn them out, and then you test them, and then you do more of what's working. You try a new angle, and that's just a daily thing. Like you're never done, especially if you've got clients where, like, it's not even necessarily the audience size, but the pool of people that Facebook shows your ads to. If it's reasonably small, what's going to happen is you're going to have a high frequency, and you're going to want to do like constant refresh of creatives, and like then your Fiverr guy is going to come in really handy. Like if you've got him just churning out variations, churning out different angles and stuff, that's going to be really valuable because you're just going to want to constantly refresh the creative to keep your return on ad spend up.
Yeah, and I've noticed with I don't know if it's just lately or what, but like, and I don't know who else is on the call or whatever, if you've got the same thing, but I've been using a lot of like image ads, and it seems like the images are performing, at least for me anyway. Maybe it's just the stuff I'm doing, but like images, I used to think images were bad and didn't like do anything, but you get like a good image, like a good high quality image, and people will click it. I don't know, it's weird. So I've been I'm gonna go with the image approach, and then what I planned on doing was, taking the interest you guys gave me for the images, and then I'll probably retarget with like the video that I had made and just see what happens with that.
Yeah, like kind of the way that I think about that is a really good video ad is, generally speaking, going to perform better than a really good image ad. The problem, it is 1,000 times harder to get a really good video ad than it is a really good picture ad.
Yeah, and that's what I've seen. So yeah, the like digital measuring cup, for instance, there's not a lot. I wasn't able to find. I scoured Amazon and AliExpress, and I think, and I looked even on Facebook, and if you search Facebook for it, you see like the same 5 videos. So I kind of had someone mix and mash or whatever, but I want to try to put like a nice looking, and it's obviously it's testing, but I want to try to put like a nice looking photo out first, and then follow up, or maybe even have the image on the site. I haven't quite like figured that out yet, but it's the same. Like it's hard to make like an engaging video with a measuring cup. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like, at least off the get-go, I would say with what's out there, the clips that are out there and stuff, it's hard to be unique, I guess, at least right now, how I'm thinking about it. And I mean, I'll obviously take feedback.
It's usually going to be hard to create really good video ads by cutting and like mixing, matching stuff that's already out there. That's usually going to be difficult. Doing like your own custom content, if you want to have a really good, unique video ads, pretty much your only option, unless you're doing like basic video ads or basically like images, like a slideshow of images with text popping up and stuff. Like actual video ads, to have them really well done, you're almost always going to have to do it yourself or get someone to do it for you.
Yeah, and I'll order the damn thing. I kind of want to see the reaction of it because I'm trying to angle it very. I mean, I don't know if you guys looked at my thing, but it's like I'm trying to go the like eco-friendly kind of route because I didn't see any of those sites you recommended kind of putting any angle on it. They're just selling like products or whatever. So I'm trying to like be very niche and like be earth friendly, don't be wasteful kind of thing. That's what I'm trying to like aim for. And then I might even go further to just like eco-friendly moms or something. I don't know. Like I'm trying to put that spin on it though.
Was there not a spin like that on it in your build?
Huh?
Was that the spin that was on it in your build?
That's one of the angles. Yeah, you have like never eco-friendly. The trying to like make even the site kind of like you know what I mean? Like be that kind of theme instead of just the product itself. But you guys gave like a don't be wasteful, no plastic, stuff like that. Like you had that stuff in the build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work.
I didn't catch quite all of that, so I'm not sure if you had a question in there. You were cutting out a bit for me, but yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you're well on your way. Sounds like it's going well.
Yeah, we'll see. And I'm gonna test a bunch of different stuff. I know that the kitchen niche is very it's populated. It's got a lot of people in it with a lot of big budgets. So I want to make sure I am very niche down basically.
That's what all of you need to do. It doesn't matter what niche you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kitchen niche it's an old one. I mean, probably there's been direct marketers selling that stuff for longer than any of us have been alive. Like if you put on late night television infomercials, kitchen stuff's a classic.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Is there anyone else on this right now, or is it just me?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 3 others.
Oh.
They've all been.
Yeah, I'll just listen in. I mean, I'll share my after this week. I'll definitely have questions once we get going. Actually, I do have a question. How? I mean, I guess obviously you've tested it and whatever, but like, what's the difference in adding Herify? Like, I guess what do you see? Like, what kind of conversion rate do you see difference when you add Herify to the site?
It tends to be a lot when you do
really?
it. When you do it the way that we play out in the semester 2, I believe it is. It can have a really like a massive effect.
And so the message you put in yours on the video was like, last chance to save 40, and then you put a time. You time bound it obviously with the timer.
Yeah.
Do you have like, maybe is that what you would recommend using? Just last chance to save X, and then just have the timer?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Okay. It depends on like the offer, and the biggest thing is that it's congruent across from your ads to from the time that someone sees your ad, and if you're talking about any of the urgency or scarcity in the ad, you just want to make sure that it's congruent with what's on the product page. Other than that, I mean, there's a couple other things you could do, but I'd say like generally speaking, like I mean that works pretty well from what we from our experience what we tested. Do stuff like last chance to save or X% off sale ends in or something like that.
Also sort of customize if you've got an evergreen ad, like an ad that doesn't have ends in 7 days or Easter sale or whatever, if you've got an evergreen ad that you're running consistently, I'll still sometimes tweak the Herify setup so that, for example, this weekend, I've got some of my stores running a Mother's Day sale ends in Herify setup. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll just take that down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
switch it back to the standard one.
Yeah, and that's one of those kind of smaller things. It's not like huge, but it's definitely not small. Once you have something working, that's definitely something you want to test is the offer, the urgency, the scarcity, how you're displaying that. Little tweaks there can really go a long way.
Okay. Yeah, my gut is, and maybe it's just because I like understand it, is that I would discard a Herify if I saw it on a, you know what I mean? But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe if I actually wanted, I would.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, well, that I don't know. That it feels that way. That's why I was just asking. Like, is there a demonstrable like measurement?
Just adds urgency, right?
Absolutely.
Oh,
and check out like Booking.com or Airbnb.
Even Amazon, man. Even Amazon.
Like I won't lie. After I was reading the B.O.S.S semester, I started to notice how many times the flight booking sites have got me with that. Like literally every time they get me with that, and I didn't pay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of
Or-
that. Yeah.
It's not even that. Like, we're planning a little event that we're going to be doing this year, and I don't think I've even told you this yet, Nate. But they hit us with, here's the offer, and it's a pretty good deal. I think we're going to go for it. But it's like, oh, by the way, like it's booking up quickly. You're probably going to have to book, like, confirm on Monday, so that you definitely have it to lock it in.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if that's real urgency or not, but it's believable, it's possible, and
Sure.
I think we're going to book on Monday if we want that.
Yeah. And it's just
Okay,
like,
that's fair.
that's like just a principle of direct response marketing is, you need to give people a reason to buy now, not later. Not like they see the product, they think it's cool, but then they don't have a reason to buy it right now, then they probably won't. They're probably going to click off and they're not going to buy at all. So by implementing that urgency or scarcity, you're giving someone that reason. Oh, so this is cool. I like this product, but I need to buy it right now. You know what I mean? Like that's what, in a lot of cases, that's what really kind of pushes people over the edge from, yeah, this is a cool product. I like this. Maybe I'll buy it to, oh, I have to buy this right now.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I figured that. It's probably just seeing the other side of it. But yeah, that makes sense.
And I got a question.
You have to remember that like 99% of people, like they don't understand this side of things. They don't think the way that we do, right? They don't understand that that's why people do that. They don't even like it's like subconscious that it just happens in their brain. They're not thinking, oh wow, this is whatever. This is a urgency timer. Like they don't think like that. They don't know that. No one like it's like, I don't know. That's something like that you can fall into pretty easily, is like thinking that this isn't going to work because it wouldn't work on you, right?
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
You're not selling to you. You're selling to your market, right? And those people, and it's like kind of, just generally speaking, like people are dumb. Like just as a whole, people are dumb and they don't understand that this is how this stuff works. So to them, it doesn't even register in their brain that that's what that is. It's subconscious, and then it just moves them to make a decision, and they don't think about it. It just happens.
Like honestly, I've never bought anything from a Facebook or Instagram ad.
Really?
Yeah.
Unless I was going looking at a competitor to see what they're doing. I've bought stuff for that, but I've never bought something because I wanted it.
I bought a pair of slippers from an Instagram ad one time, and it was a fucking great purchase. I love those slippers.
We're going to get to your question in a second, Daryl, but I just wanted to actually share a little story there about like people who buy and people who don't buy from like Instagram ads. Last week we got a little parcel in the post, and there was Chinese shipping labels all over it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting, and it was from my brother, and I asked him about it, and it's like a poster, it's like a basketball poster. As I said, oh, where did you get that? It's like, some site. It's like, some site, okay. So how did you hear about it? It's like, was it from an Instagram ad? Yeah, it was from an Instagram ad. So, okay. So how much did that cost? Oh, it was free. You just had to pay for the shipping.
There you go, man. That happens like people don't realize it, man. And it's so funny when you start like thinking like this, and you're on the other side, you're the seller, and you see this all happening. It's so cool because you almost feel like a puppet master, like pulling the strings, like it's like moving people to take action. And that's what I love about all of this stuff, is that is the coolest thing in the world to me, is having that like that power. Like you have like power over people to be able to influence their decisions, and like the biggest decision of all, what they spend their money on. Like that is the absolute coolest thing in the world to me. And when you get real into this, you'll start noticing that like all this stuff happens. You'll notice it like when you just go out, like you'll go out and you'll see a sign at a restaurant, like it'll say whatever, and you'll be like, oh, I wouldn't put that, I would put this instead. And then once you start thinking like that, like it's fucking over. Like you're done. Like you're hooked in this shit, and it's like there's no going back from there.
All right, Daryl, your question.
Yeah. So, what's your guys' vision going forward for this group that we got now? I guess we're the first ones, right? So as you guys add more and more people going on, we're going to be fairly advanced while you got, say, newbies coming in. I mean, are we going to be a part of this group going forward? Or do you see it, once we graduate, you're on your own? I mean, what's your guys' vision of the future
No.
for this group?
This is it. Like, you're the lucky ones that get this live call where you're all on with your faces, and that's probably not going to be the case for future calls once we have more people. Like, just logistically, I don't know how many people you can have on a Zoom call like this. It's probably just going to be chat then, but you guys are in the family forever. Like, yeah, there's no kicking you out.
Raj,
you're stuck. There's no going back. You're stuck. But no, I mean, something that we're going to be doing for, the foreseeable future, the very long foreseeable future. And this is something that, like, we really want y'all to be a big part of. And, it's ultimately, like, it's kind of up to you how involved you want to be with it. But we would love to have y'all, extremely involved and, keep in touch. And we really, see this becoming something a lot bigger than just, drop shipping and an online course and, stuff like that. We really have this vision of this becoming something a whole lot greater than that. So yeah, I would say that going forward, the calls are going to be, it's basically going to be me and Scotty on screen. And then everyone else is probably just going to be, in the chat asking questions, because, after about like 10 people or so in one call, it just gets, there's, too many people for it to, like, make sense to do it that way. But yeah, I mean, y'all are, you're here, y'all are welcome, a year from now, come on the calls. I think that'll be the coolest fucking thing for some of y'all who are, more experienced in, 6 months, a year, for, you to be, still be a part of that, and to, be sharing your wisdom that that you gained through your experience with this, with people who are, just getting into the program. And I just think it's going to be like the coolest fucking community of just fucking hustlers, man. I love it.
Yeah, and it'll be smaller too because of the barrier to entry. I think that was a smart move. I mean, like, I don't know if you saw that on Twitter, but like, I didn't even like read the copy. Like, you just went for it.
I didn't either.
Just like,
Nate was so butthurt about that. He put all that effort into writing this.
The sales page is like,
you could have just put a page with a button, dude.
why did I just do this? Like, I should have just put a fucking button.
You should have just done a Shopify store with a big horrified countdown timer, and that's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I gotta get going, but I appreciate the time, and yeah, I'll I guess did anyone start yet? I guess that's my other question. Did anyone like?
I think 2 people are launching their ads tonight.
Okay.
So
yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Okay.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some little gift or something for whoever gets the first sale and posts in the group.
Yeah, we're gonna have some little like, I don't know, some like rewards and stuff for things like, first sale,
first 1,000,
first 1,000, first 10,000, first 100,000. Cool.
All right, well, I appreciate your guys' time. I gotta head off. I'll talk to you guys later.
I got you, man. Take it easy.
Same here. I gotta head out, but just want to say I appreciate it, because I've been in a lot of, Nate, you're talking about those Instagram guys, the Instagram e-com guys. I was actually in like one of their kind of, I guess, groups or whatever, and they just kind of, the way it happened with me is a friend recommended it, but what they do, they just kind of like, they tell you how to set up the shop, they tell you what ads to do, that kind of thing, and then they just tell you how to re-up the Facebook ads. And then some of them don't even get back to you too. So this is a lot better because it's like you can actually like use this towards something bigger in the future. You can feel it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of our goal is, there's a lot of guys doing, stuff like teaching, e-com and dropshipping and stuff. And we want to fucking crush all of them. I want these motherfuckers to be back working at McDonald's because they can't make any.
Yeah, and like you said, if you see them flexing on Instagram with like a new watch, that's the bad side. Luckily, I got my money back. I had to pressure.
Yeah, there's a lot of sketchy guys, man. I know some personally, and there's a lot of guys out there who take advantage of the fact that it's kind of like a hot thing, and it's for someone that doesn't even have that much experience, it's an easy way to make money because people want to learn this stuff. And most of them are not focused on, the most important part, which is actually getting their students results. So I think that's kind of, where we see is what's going to set us apart. And that's why we're so keen to get y'all's feedback and, to figure out how we can improve this and make it even better. Because that's really, you know, the marketing stuff aside, like, yeah, well, I think we're pretty good at that. But I think that, you know, the only way that this is going to work out for us long term is if we just have the best product out there. So that's kind of the goal. And we appreciate you guys being a part of that. I'm so fucking excited, man. I love this shit.
No problem, guys. All right, take it easy. Have a good one.
All right, wipe your tears, man.
Oh, come on. Oh, hey, I'm gonna support them to the end, man. I don't care. Wait, who do you support?
Liverpool, unfortunately.
Oh, again, I'm gone. But,
All right. So, and then, well, I guess 4, I was going to say, and then there were 2. So Daryl and Devin, you all got any other questions, concerns, comments, any personal anecdotes you'd like to share that might be interesting?
No, just going good. Like I said, I don't want to ask a bunch of questions that are going to be answered later in the course. So I'll just keep playing it out and keep building the skills. So appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I like that hat, by the way.
Yeah, what year's your M3?
2016.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got a 2001.
Oh, word? Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, E46. It's great. I love that car.
That's the
E46.
E46. Dude, that's badass. I love those.
Yeah, Laguna Seca Blue. It's beautiful.
Oh, hell yeah. I wanted one of those so bad, man, when I was in high school. And then I was obviously broke, and my parents weren't going to fucking buy me an M3, but
yeah, they take a shitload of maintenance to keep it going. So
yeah, that was my concern with my car. But I got like a ridiculous warranty on it. It was retardedly expensive. So hopefully I'll be good there.
Sweet.
Devin? Also, I'm Charles in the chat, but here's my fun anecdote for why I switched my name. Is my employer found my Twitter, and I got brought into an office and sat down and asked if I needed to refocus. To which I responded, "I just billed 200 fucking hours last month. Nobody else billed more than me. How do I need to refocus?" They said, "Well, I don't know. We found this." I was like, "Oh, all right. Well, I'm gonna shut that one down."
What does that even mean, to refocus?
Like, I'm a lawyer, so right, like the only time we make money is if we're billing it. So if I'm focusing on anything that's not law, it means I'm not billing for that. And so, like, I'm not billing associate firm. The fuck are you guys talking about?
Just tell them that you bill someone even when you're tweeting.
That's right.
Yeah, that was one thing that I was concerned was, you know, keeping my identity separate from the business identity, right? And keeping all the accounts different, you know.
Oh, that's one other thing too. That once, so this doesn't really matter. Like at first, like you're not. I think you like you're supposed to have this, like in the privacy policy and stuff. Like you're supposed to have like your address. But what I would really recommend doing is, you know, once you're established, and you know, it's not something you need to do like right this second by any means. But get a UPS or, you know, equivalent box. Yeah. And then, you know, incorporate your business with that address so that it's separate from, you know, your personal address, and then don't share that or put it out anywhere, because that's how everyone found my store because I had the same address. You know, you have to have that on your emails. When you have an email list, you have to have that. And I have the same address. So that's how everyone found my store. And yeah. So if I could go back, I definitely would have done that things a little bit differently.
You've definitely
your store is also your last name.
Say it again?
Your store is also your last name.
Yeah, that was.
And his LLC is first name, last name, LLC.
No, that's well, yeah, but
It
that's
used to be, at least.
Well, that's the one. That's my personal brand, LLC now.
But I think that's how I found your store. Like, it took me all of 30 seconds.
Yeah, I found your old dropshipping stores based on your LLC name.
Really?
Yeah, definitely the wrong people, or the right and the wrong person to ask about privacy.
The wrong person because I'm a dumbass about it, but the right person because I made mistakes. I know.
Yeah, because I think you tweeted about hiring your first employee, and you put like first employee of Nate Schmidt LLC. I was like, I wonder if he was dumb enough to put this in his dropshipping store. So I Googled it. And yeah, there it is.
Yep.
But I think you'd stopped using those by that point, so it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, I just I did not think about that. That was one of the things that I didn't realize. Like I didn't really care either. Like I was like, oh, you know, people find my, who cares? It doesn't really matter that much. And then I didn't realize that there were some other things that come along with that. And once it's out there, you know, there's no going back. So if privacy is something you value, definitely don't do what I did.
Hey, when would you guys put up the Zipify app? Like after we're profitable on like the front end with ads?
Yeah, I would say that honestly, if you have a product that's doing well, that's not quite profitable, but it's like, you know, close to breaking even and it's showing promise, then like that's like, I mean, honestly, I think you should get it on there ASAP. I think we probably need to add a section about that as well to the B.O.S.S School of Business.
Mm-hmm.
That can be the difference. Like for example, on my store, I want to say either a third or a fourth of our total revenue was just from Zipify. So it can increase your, you know, the amount of money you make like a lot.
I wouldn't do it on day one because the upsell that you're going to have is dependent on the product that you're selling.
Right.
So if you don't know which one's going to be the product that does well, then it's probably not the best thing to be focusing on. I'd be focused on getting those front end sales first.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just something that once like things are showing promise, and you know, you're making sales consistently, even if they're not profitable, that's when you want to get it on there, because that can take a product from, you know, barely breaking even, unprofitable, whatever, to, you know, to actually profitable. Because, you know, it just 10% of people, whatever the conversion rate is, that it adds up, and you're not paying any more money. It's basically free money. So, yeah, definitely huge. And I think, yeah, I'm gonna make a note of that as well. I think we probably need to make a video about that.
Yeah, just make sure you've got the front end honed in first, because you don't want to have like a half-assed front end and then a half-assed Zipify and going back and working on both. Get one sorted, get one working, and then add the Zipify onto it.
Gotcha. All right.
How it usually plays out is you like all the products on your store, one or two of them are going to be the ones that do 90% of the volume. So you want to find, you know, what that winning combo is, you know, the product, offer, ads, angle, all that stuff. Get one of those working, and then from there, then you can start, you know, doing all the other crazy stuff. Zipify, you can start tweaking other things, you know, et cetera, upselling other products, bundling things together, whatever. But you want to get that one or two, you know, those one or two products profitable, or at least, yeah, I mean, ideally profitable, but at least, you know, making consistent sales before you start, you know, worrying about that stuff.
Yeah, I hope you get that added soon, because my main products need a consumable, right? And so I was planning on adding the consumable as an upsell as they're checking out to say, hey, you know, you're going to need this.
That's so. I'm trying to think how you do something like that. That you would do with, what's that app called? It's like a frequently bought together app, because Zipify is post purchase.
Yeah, I got the customers also bought app installed.
Yeah, but there's a bundling app.
Yeah, there's a bundling app where it'll like if you go on Amazon, it says like, you know, frequently bought together. It'll have like products, and then it'll give you the option to do that. So that's another app. I think you can probably add some about that as well.
I think there's a bold bundle app.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I'll research it.
Yeah,
that was my idea.
That's separate to the
just to increase sales.
Yeah, if you got the consumable link, or if you got a supplier for that.
Yeah.
From AliExpress.
Yeah, and I'm looking for other suppliers also.
Okay, fantastic. Consumables are tough. Like, it can be great. Like, people love the idea of selling a consumable because like it's not quite recurring, but you'll have more repeat customers. But it's tough to find as a dropshipper. It's very tough to find. If you can get a great one, then it's a gold mine. Honestly, it's what one of my clients is selling for e-com scalers, and it's brilliant because if we get raving reviews, like we really do, and even if like we've got decent margins on the front end, but people just come back and buy more like clockwork, and it's a gold mine at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
Dope. All right, fellas. Well, I think that is about everything that we had. Do you guys have anything else?
No, that's all I got.
You need to get back to billing hours.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to the office after this.
Yeah, thanks for the time making this available, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming on Mother's Day. That was kind of poorly planned, but that won't happen again.
We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Mother's Day. Then we'll make sure we do it on Mother's Day again. Just kidding.
See ya. I'm out.
All right. Later, guys.
Have a nice one.
See ya. All right.